numbers here. This was triangle math. Yeah, so we're off to all right, here we go. Finally getting started. I don't know what Walther's sprite is. Tstew using a nice vanilla link.
A nice bomb found in the first chest.
Yeah, that's a rupee horde. That's a privacy policy update. I love that one. That's a great text.
Fire rod. 8 shots, but I don't think there's any chance to miss that.
Fire Rod does have a pretty big hitbox. I like Tstew there, using a pot to save a little bit of magic. Probably the worst weapon to farm with, but nice to have as far as progression is concerned, and gives you a fire source.
They can light the torches even if they have the light cone now. Doubt any of them want to do that. Well, speaking of fire source, we have both of them now.
Oh man, every time we find the lamp and escape, I always say like we should get some kind of bonus for wasting our free light cone. But yeah, lamp is nice. A lot of people don't feel super comfortable with every dark room. At this level, they're probably comfortable with most of them at least. But you know, get lamp out of the way. You don't have to worry about keeping track of the sequence breaks. And 3 bombs means they are done bomb farming. I don't know if really you can call opening a chest farming though. What do you think?
I'd call that farming because it's looting the castle basement.
Bomb scavenging, bomb harvesting, maybe. Something not agriculture based.
Yeah, remember in later Zelda games, bomb literally grew out of the plant. So I have to say, this escape is being really nice to the runners.
Yeah, nice basic start. Not too much that you can really go on about until they get more items. So at the moment, you're basically just kind of waiting out escape. I do like the standard randomized sword mode. It adds some variety to the escape sequence, but compared to open mode, you're still basically locked in a 6-minute sequence with no chance for variety.
Yeah, totally. So the sewer chest is going to be a small key. They both have the bombs from the chest, so we'll see what the backup escape has for us today.
I like in chat, Naileen with the disclaimer that it's not his cursor on the screen. Restreamers really take pride in their work. I want to get that out of the way. Neither runner choosing to fire the snakes there. Nice place, you can get 3 or 4 of them in a single fire rod shot, but saving the magic. All I need left is the key rat, and he's pretty hard to miss too because he's very combustible.
Mm-hmm. Both getting the red, no problem.
Okay, so back of escape hype. Let's see what we get. 3 chests. We haven't seen the map yet, I don't think. So first chest, shovel, map, and the 3 more bombs. Not a lot of hype at all. Shovel is a delayed item. It just doesn't give you anything. It's just 1 item for 1 item. That's a -2 hype.
I'd call 3 bombs at least early a little hype because less bombs you need for Kakariko.
Are you commentating from an airport? It's like a plane just flew over your house. That's nice.
No, it was I think a heavy bike.
Confirmed jet seat. I love that. Oh, you guys are great. All right, well, Tstew giving us our tier 2 tree pool prize, just 5 rupees. Probably going to give us our lumberjack check. Walther going directly to the vanilla mushroom spot and finding a single green rupee. Not green rupee. Not picking up the invaluable green rupee. Keep in mind, there are only 2 of those in the entire game. So choosing to ignore it, that's kind of a risky move. Might come back to haunt you.
Meanwhile, Tstew saw a big 20 on the lumberjack tree, so we're not going to go for that.
Nope, that's knowledge that he has, though, that Walther does not have. So, Walther, first to Blind's Hut. We really have no indication yet where to go, so we're just kind of doing standard game routing. If we don't get any obvious progression in Kakariko, it'll just be on the South Shore. But we find just more rupees here. Half magic's nice.
The sword is nice. That gives us Masuda once we go to Dark World.
Well, I definitely like the early half magic. It's not, it's not going to be a game-changing item, but it's going to make a lot of things easier, especially with Fire Rod being your only weapon. Well, I mean, that's the sword now, but Fire Rod being the only thing that's going to do considerable damage. It's a little bit less of a concern there with the Master Sword. Right there, it's a 100% damage increase, a range boost, and quite a few other perks that Master Sword unlocks.
Like the Agnes Tower.
Yeah, it's kind of it is nice to get that Go Mode sword out of the way 10 minutes in, and that Tempered Sword. Now they're good to go.
Tempered in Kakariko, I remember the days like Fee version 18 that gives us that often.
Well, a valuable Kakariko, just as far as making the game easier, picking up that Temper Sword. but not any progression items. So we are still just basically following the standard vanilla, let's just check everything we can route. No clear indication of directly where to go. Book would lead you to desert, a boat would lead you to eastern, but right now they're just going for item density.
Even Eggman doesn't do much just yet because it only holds the pyramid item.
Absolutely, and they do have access with the lamp and the sword that they could complete the tower. It's within logic, but unless there's a moon pearl sitting there on the pyramid, it's not going to help them too much. And you have a lot of locations to exhaust before you commit 5 minutes into climbing that tower. But Walther able to route the shovel in. I'm not sure if it's faster to. It's probably faster to save and quit from here and go to Link's house without the boots, even being as close as you are. Maybe with the glove you could take the shortcut, but without that, both of them saving and quitting.
Oh.
Yeah, no respect. No, not picking up the single rupee, not picking up the single arrow. If we're at 499 rupees at Zora and 3 hours at Ganon, I'm going to be laughing at Walther.
Yeah, maybe. Also, we had a med check, Eastern Pendant, the rest crystals. Pretty simple, like Warley Seed.
I actually think an Eastern Pendant is pretty good. It gives you a little bit more incentive to go there now, knowing that you're not going to be able to complete it because you're probably not going to ever have to come back. Or a crystal, you're going to have to do the double dip. I think psychologically it makes it a little bit easier to commit to a dungeon that you're not going to be able to finish.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a bottle. So that's our sick kid access. Who wants to go back to help out the sick kid? And it's medicine, so that might help him.
But he doesn't drink it. He just gives you the item.
I like to think that it heals him, gives him some inner peace. Something good has to come from it.
Yeah, because he does recover in the credits, right?
Absolutely, he's up and about. And there's a bow in Mini Moldorm Cave, so that definitely makes Eastern the obvious next destination.
Mm-hmm. Walter getting the Ice Rock Cave out of the way first.
Just a heart piece in there, and no boots or moon pearls, so there's no really cool fake flippers tricks that we can do coming out of there. Just saving and quit the head of the Eastern. Looks like Tstew is going to follow in the same path. Alright, any value in Sasha's big 20, bombs, and that Canis Maria. Well, good God, geez. Get progression items that you can't use? Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I know, right? Blastoise, it's like, oh, do I really want the cane at this point?
Not yet.
Yeah, give me a glove, give me a hammer, give me a moon pearl. I get nothing I can do with the cane in the light world.
Yeah.
So Blastig, you got a question in chat. People want to know more information about your airplane. Is it a private jet? Is it, just you're out for a casual flight?
What?
Never mind.
That was just a bike racing through the alley, making that sound. But I like a jet too, to be honest. But I don't think a jet is more convenient for local commute than, let's say, a bike.
So our first chest in Eastern was the big key, and our first item was another big 20. So we have everything we need to full clear this palace without a sequence break. But being a pendant and not the green pendant, we're just going to get 2 more items. And I really got the feeling, Blastig, that we are not going to be happy with what we find here. I'm just getting that feeling.
You're saying we're going to see the moon pearl on the pyramid and hammer in pot? Are you implying that?
I don't know where they're going to be, but they're not going to be here. At 50 rupees, so they're coming pretty nicely along money-wise. And but Zora is not available without the flippers to take the Whirlpool or the glove to lift the rock. Not logically available. So not a place you're going to go hoping for progression as a sequence break.
And even if you sequence break up there, there's only 1 item available. Instead of if you have moon pearl, you get 3.
Exactly. It's a little bit better with the moon pearl, but without the flute, it's still not fast to get down there. So it's there we go. Finally, some value. Well, you get the pearl and not the gloves or the hammer. So that's definitely pointing you in the direction of Aga's Tower. What else can they do at this point? They can do Sick Kid and they can do a Gina's Cave. Am I missing other spots?
I don't think so. And Walter is going for the map. Maybe it's not.
Yeah, that was the Moon Pearl was the 3rd item in Eastern. So Walther deciding he does not want that pendant, at least not now. Very good choice to bail out of there. Zora's not available without a glove or the flippers. So you need the flipper to take the portal down from like flute location 8 to get up there, or you need the glove to lift the stone. So it's a Gina or Sick Kid. You would need both the hammer and the gloves from those 2 spots in order to avoid an Aga Tower play. So not good odds.
Yes. Both noticing that's not a good odds. They are both going straight to Aghanim Tower right now.
Yeah, and you could find something like one of Gina like boots that unlocks a greater number of locations than it blocks, but at this point I think that's just too much of a gamble.
After all, after Aghanim's Tower, they have access to at least 4 items in Palace of Darkness. They could find the rest of Dark World assets from that easily.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to go south without the hammer or northeast without the hook shot, but they do have the lamp and the bow, so they can logically access everything in Palace of Darkness except for Helmasaur without the hammer. And of course, there's the item on the pyramid that they'll also be able to pick up. So, just for as far as item density is concerned, that's the place to go. It is going to have some progression unless one of these two overworld spots that they skipped has it.
Both runners utilizing their fire rod to great effect. So, how many blue balls do you think we'll get?
I'm gonna say 16. I'm gonna say that they miss every shot and miss another one. It's gonna be that bad. I'm gonna say 2.
An early economy play, let's say 1. I think the sea will be nicer to them right now. Well, let's do already. We're still on pace for 15.
So what's that, like 9 that we're up to?
That's 4. Okay. Facing the Dark Road is a mat check, 5-6 in Pod and Sif's Town, and Red Pendant in Ice and Green Pendant as Sahara said in Turtle Rock.
I want someone to do like a statistical analysis of what the overlap is between ALTTP fans, Twitch viewers, and pun lovers. I want to see that Venn diagram. It's just going to be like one circle.
Yep, I love puns as well, but I just cannot think of them quick enough in commentary.
Not the best dungeon to route without the mirror or the boots. The boots let you, bonk around a little bit. So we get to see the Uh, Even in vanilla, you have the mirror when you're here, so this is no fun at all.
Let's see how the runners route this. They have a small key in the first chest, so they can open the middle door if they want to.
So I think Kern in chat maybe called what could be one of the best trolls in here. Flippers, making the runners feel behind. But given that they got Moon Pearl kind of at the end there, I don't think that you could reasonably expect that a fake flipper play would have been a big thing. So maybe hobos all you would have fake flippered.
And here's our first progression, a book. There.
So that is going to give them access to desert. At the moment, they can't complete desert without the glove, and they may also not be able to complete it without the boots. So really not a good item to find. I don't even know if you'd want to head over to desert unless that's your only choice. But it would lead you to a Gina, though. That's one more item you get in the area, and you can get the desert ledge. But so far, this seed has been incredibly linear.
Yep. But if they found something in Gina's cave, I think runners will feel behind when they find that. Oh, vanilla hammer.
Well, that is good because they were right up against the hammer pegs, so it was that or a death warp. Really nice position for that. We actually get some value with the red cane. Okay, that paid off earlier than I expected it would.
Yeah. So that hammer only gives them access to the south part of Dark World right now, because without a glove, you still cannot open any portals with that on hammer only.
Yeah, they're still going to need the hook shot or a glove to get to the northern access, but that does give them Hype Cave, and there's a glove. So never mind, they now have full Dark World access. So I think that I tend to like the southern Dark World route when you're in this situation. I just think it's a lot of quick items you can pick up, despite it being a little bit longer than going north first. With Skullwoods and Thievestown both being in crystals, and Thievestown being one of the 5-6 though, and they're able to full clear both of those dungeons and get every item. The northern route does have some appeal, but I think I still would go south first, just in case you pick up boots or mirror.
Walther is setting up for the Death Warp out of pot, so is Tstew. That's what Dodongos do one heart no matter what, so it's pretty good use for Death Warping.
Yeah, and absolutely no reason not to finish this dungeon off while you're here. It's your other 5-6 crystal, so this will combine with Thievestown and give them Pyramid Fairy access relatively early in the game. And with Tempered Sword, Helmosaur is a very easy fight as well. So, I thought those little dinosaur things were Dodongos. Are they not Dodongos? They're something different?
I think they are Dodongos. I'm just not good with names. might pronounce name wrong. So onto the hammer sword fight. 17 hammers on the west. The runners are holding up their sword to extend the hammer hitbox a bit because the hammer hitbox upward is very finicky. And then the spin at 2 slashes on the drill, and hammer sword is down.
Very nice fight, and almost perfect sync. And neither runner, I don't believe either runner has completed any checks that the other one has missed at this point.
We have Divergence, a Hype K play versus Skullwood's play.
Well, we were talking about this earlier. I like the Hype Cave. You get the 5 items here, and you can very quickly check Stumpy and Digging Game, and then save and quit. If you pick up the mirror here, it's going to make the northern route a little bit easier. If you pick up the mitts here, you're going to be able to go directly into the northern route. Northern, you're going to be able to still complete Skullwoods and Thievestown, but I do like getting these 7 checks done out really quickly.
Mm-hmm. So the Hype Cave is giving us the Lord Banana here. Nothing too influential. And as you say, he's going to stump you right now.
Oh, there's nice value. You're going to be able to activate that when he makes his northern trip. That'll save him a little bit of time.
Yep.
Of course, Blastag, it is a shame. You and I are watching the commentary stream, which does not have any game audio, so we are deprived of the Swag Duck anthem, and we're just going to have to, pretend that we're hearing the glory of the duck. All the Twitch viewers, they will get to bask in its greatness.
Well, we don't even know which side of audio they're on. So maybe they don't get them until Walter finds the flute. But they will get it sometime.
So we're apparently on Walther's audio, so we're gonna have to wait a little while longer. Sorry, guys.
But our region says he's going to switch the audio on the fly.
There we go. I unmuted my Twitch stream just so I could enjoy the glory.
So second item in Skullwoods is the mirror you just talked about.
So this is a really interesting play from Tstew. Going into desert, this is still potentially a boost locked dungeon, and then we saw that the ledge item is just arrow upgrade. I think that the Skullwoods Thieves Town play is a lot more value.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what the first chest in this is. A small key might not be boost lock. So on green mail, you don't want to hit monster because that's 2 hearts of damage. Ooh. That's clutch.
Yeah, nice moss flight. It doesn't take a lot with Tempered Sword, just 4 hits, but with Grey Mail, you do have to be careful.
And with big key in desert vanilla location, we're confirmed the desert is not boost locked, but we're going to see what we are missing on the torch. And with the mirror find in Skullwoods, a pet check.
And just a map on the torch, so this will be a full clear.
And on the pad we have Couch Clash. Oh.
Yeah, they've got enough money in this seed, so they can skip out on the is that a big 20 or is that a 5er? That's couch cash. I think it's either of those.
Yeah.
Or pocket change is 1 or 5, and then Ruby Hoard is 300, and there's something for the stash is 100. You gotta know your pedestal. Well, Skullwoods was a little bit of a letdown. You know, we picked up our mandatory crystal, so, you know, it wasn't lost time. Let's hope that Thieves Town pays off.
Well, we did pick up the mirror in Skullwoods.
Yeah, but who cares about the mirror?
Well, that's East Desmond SS that mirror. So it's relatively big.
Yeah, Triforce or bust. That's my view.
Yeah, one day I would hope for a game mode where we can find just win a game opening a chest, so I don't have to do the gauntlet. It doesn't do. I cannot do that well.
There's the flippers in Thieves Town, and I like to just point out to everybody that I noticed it.
A pretty big item opens up the Zora area and a front half of Swamp Palace.
Yeah, that mirror that they got in Skull Woods and that flippers that they got in Thieves Town gives them access to some of Swamp House now. So yeah, put those two items together, definitely. Well, I think that I would probably, if I was Walther and I finished up Thieves Town, I would, I would do the southern route. That's going to get the flute, and I think that the next best place to go is Death Mountain. They have access through either the cave or the flute, so they have two ways to get there. Mirror gets them up to Tower of Hera, and the hammer lets them clear East Death Mountain. So as far as pure item density is concerned, that's your next bet.
Mm-hmm. Finding the hook shot in Town also, so that makes walking a big
Nice.
bound and Swamp Pass full clearable.
Well, finding the hook shot there, that changes everything. I think full clear of Swamp Pals is actually your best bet now. You can also route in the Bombos tablet with the mirror and the book. So that's 7 items and a crystal.
Mm-hmm. And you can walk the big bump after that.
Absolutely, you can do the big bomb for 2 additional items, and then if you find the mitts, that's going to make your Dark Death Mountain trip a lot more efficient. So yeah, I would go Swamp, and that's going to be pretty good for him too, because he's going to pick up his flute, and he's not going to be too far away. He'll do Key 45, something that Tstew's going to have to go back and do later, and it'll just be a quick walk down because he'll already be in the Dark World.
Well, if I find the mitts, I would just and the flute, I would just go to Mire to see if I'm in go mode or not.
So Chad asks, would you, if you were doing Pyramid Fairy, would you also then route in Catfish and Zora? I think at that point you probably would, having not been to the Zora's Domain area. That's 4 items, and the 5th being Catfish. So yeah, that's good. That's good enough item density. If you had already done Zora, I wouldn't think Catfish by itself would be worth the trouble.
Oh, you gotta do Catfish sometime. So
No,
I'd still do that.
Checking an item location never is faster than checking it even with the most optimal routing. So if you don't ever have to go there, then don't go there. Yeah, that was a nice Thieves Town. The flippers and the hookshot, really nice progression in a single dungeon, and they were both doing it. So Tstew has to do Skullwoods, and Walther has to do Southern Dark World, and then we'll be pretty much back in sync with just Tstew leaving a Key 45 behind based on his routing order.
Mm-hmm. She still has to be a little careful because those critters do 2 hearts on Greenmail as well. It's on 3 heart now, so it's a little safer. Let's see the South of Grove Ledge has. Hey, a cake. Neither runner check the bumper cave. Since Walter goes to Steve's town after Skullwood, while Tstew has yet to been to Skullwood. So that's another location we'll have to look out for. We'll see Wizard Walter go to Swamp after this hype cave. Meanwhile, Tstew entering Blind Find as well. Oh, take a death on blind. Those heads do 2 hearts, unlike the fireball only doing 1.
That is not a good place to take a death. It's not hard to get back to time-wise, but you lose your optimal positioning on blind. And without the powder, there's more nets. There's no way to bottle up any more fairies. Kind of inconvenient there. So I'm glad to see Walther heading into Swamp Palace. This is, it's one of those dungeons that a lot of people just will not, will refuse to route in. They don't want to go there. In the attempt to, maybe save a minute go moding it. But it's really item dense and it's a crystal, so even if it doesn't have progression, it's still worth the time. So I'm glad to see Walther make this play.
Tstew has some problem with the third phase of blind, taking another death.
So I don't argue with Tstew at all routing out here. There's a potion shop in the Village of Outcasts that's behind the 2 hammer pegs. So he could buy a red potion. He's got enough money, but it's not hard to get back to Thieves Town. So I say just come back later. You do not want your entire run to go until with repeated deaths to a boss like Blind.
But he's going towards Nostronaut right now, not exactly an easier boss. So where are all those heart containers we see?
All the heart containers are in Ganon's Tower and Pendant Turtle Rock.
So this is the nice one we're seeing right now. We have the big key early, so we don't have to worry about the big chest.
She's the only one.
And that's unfortunate there. Not a huge time loss, but I think psychologically, you got to start feeling a little frustrated. Now, Tstew does have the boomerang, so he can stun those guys, and they chased him in the... Oh.
I mean, when I was were to face Crypto, that would just, in this equipment, would just easier.
Yeah, if he had picked up the key, then he could have at least gone up in this room and gone out the other exit. Ether would be a good decision. Using the boomerang to stun them, also another good option. Just kill them outright. That always works. Walther picking up. Walther has the powder and the net now, so he can stock up on fairies.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think do we see map and compass in swamp yet? Have we seen those?
I've been watching the Tstew's progress, so I missed if there were the map and compass. But if if map and compass are left side and he gets all the items here, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, there's a chance that I missed the chest below the big chest, and the rest are all items.
Well, Tstew got his mirror, so even if he does have an issue with Mothula and has to come back for this boss as well, he at least picked up, the mirror from this dungeon. Not having the Thieves' Town crystal though is going to block access to the Pyramid Fairy, and that could make routing a little bit less efficient if his next play is to swamp.
Mm-hmm. 2 spins, Argus down. The
And
Titans.
Wow.
We have a God Swamp, and it's a God Swamp. All the map and compass in the left.
That is an amazing Swamp Palace. Net, powder, the mitts, no left side. Don't save and quit, man. Do your Pyramid Fairy. Do your bomb.
I mean, I save and quit because I go actively flute if Mire is either is go mode.
That is a good point. Yeah, I didn't really realize how much that had that unlocked and how far along that they were. But you're right.
But on the other hand, it's going to be 1 in 22 against Tower Vicky Troll. If it really is go mode. Crystal go mode at least.
Very nice Mothula for Tstew. Not running into another death there. So I don't know whether he's going to do Swamp Play, do Death Mountain, give Thieves' Town another try. He's got quite a few options. But Walther is going to give us our Mire check, and this will let us know right now if we are in go mode.
Well, 7 hearts go mode is a little frightening.
Yeah, green mail.
And it's Ether.
Oh my god, Ether.
So at 54 minutes sharp, Walther the 4th is a 21 out of 22 go mode.
Walther has to feel ahead at this point. Everything lined up for him nicely. And Swamp is it's a crystal, so you can't call it a gamble, but doing it as early as he did is a little bit of a gamble, and it paid off. So he's got to be feeling really good. Unless I really hope. So, we'll talk about his heart count here. He's got 7 hearts and gray mail. Obviously not ideal. he does have the net and he has the powder, so all his remaining dungeons have lots of anti-fairies and bunny beams. It's entirely easy for him to basically play the rest of this game out with 2 fairies in the bottle. So even with green mail, that does give him a decent amount of safety, but he would definitely like to get a little bit more health or at least a blue mail upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see health or mail upgrades at this point preventing him from go moding the rest of the game.
Yeah, especially since even a go mode Meyer can just become the full clear as well. So there's a chance that he finds more hearts before victory.
Yeah, and he also has cape and half magic, as was pointed out in chat. So he's got a lot of safeties. He just doesn't have a lot of health.
Mm-hmm.
So here's blind 3 for Tstew. He's got full sword beams.
One of the rare occasions where the sword beam is useful.
On the phase 3, very nice. Just needs one more hit.
Hit. Yep.
There we go. There was a 112, which I think is the record for this tournament anyway. That was from Isa like 2 weeks ago. I know there was a 114. I don't know if there's anything closer than a 112, but Walther definitely, with Meyer to clear, Tower of Hair to clear, and Ganon's Tower, isn't going to be able to beat a 110 or a 112, but he's going to have a very, very nice time.
Mm-hmm. He's still doing the Death Mountain check. It's also very dense in item location, as in East Death Mountain is open.
Yeah, this is not going to have... I mean, he's going to be limited by not having the mids, so he's only going to be able to do Light Death Mountain. We know that Swamp is the required progression, but this might have mail upgrades or hearts that make the rest of the game easier for Tstew compared to what Walther is running into.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Walther is going to pick up the Paradox Cave chest when he's climbing up for Tower Para and Gen's Tower?
I think he will probably do... Well, I don't know. That's an interesting choice. So he has two good options. He can go up the left side, do Hera first, and then fall down Spiral Cave, and then do Paradox and Hookshot, Super Bunny. That'll give him a really lot of items there. So a chance for mail upgrades, health, not a lot of time. If he feels really far ahead, that minute and a half to pick up 16, 20 items is probably worth it to get more safeties. If he doesn't think he needs it, then I think he'll go directly right side, climb up the Dark World, so he'll get Super Bunny and Hookshot Cave, and then Hera will be his last crystal, and we'll have... I mean, if this was a speed gaming network, we'd have to be worried about the 1 second that we have to run the guessing game key. Because it'll be right out of Hera and then back into the portal.
Well, another battle for Walther to store his fairy if he goes check that Ether tablet.
Big key on Hera, not in the basement at least. And Walther is doing the long Misery Mire key hunt. And going down to the Vanilla Big Key location.
And the right side, right next to big chest. So if Bowser wants, he can actually go buy us a few blue potions with all the rupee he has. But since Fairy Revival is also 7 hearts, those are not the fairy would suffice as well on this health level.
Yeah, I think with Green Mail and enemies that can do like Ganon can do 8 hearts of damage, hopefully he'll have more hearts by that point. But I think the fairy, automatic health restoration versus a potion that requires you to be able to time it right. Fairies are your better bet right now. He doesn't need the blues for the magic. Half magic is plenty, so it's just health that's the concern. And nice Moldorm from Tstew there.
Mm-hmm.
And Walther can, of course, also employ the don't get hit approach to execution, which works out well if you're able to pull it off. as Chet points out, just don't get hit.
Well, he can buy a few green glue and just cape the whole fight, and that will prevent you from getting hit, right?
That is probably the trolliest mire that I've ever seen. I mean, I've seen the big key there, but it didn't even give him a small key to use the door. So, Vitreous, no silvers and no health to do, standard NNG strats, no silvers for a quick kill. This is actually going to be probably like a cape required Vitreous fight just to survive.
Mm-hmm. Cape it and slash it.
And our second item in Tower of Hera is just arrow upgrades in the basement. No value for Tstew. Really needs to make his way over to Swamp.
A big 20 on a floating island. We're onto a spiral cave.
Did he just powder that with full health? Yes, he did.
Well, you don't lose health if you powder the fairy. That anti-fairy.
It's like extra safety. Unfortunately, with all the tricks that we found in this game, you still can't buffer a fairy for later.
Taking any 5 arrow shots because when the Victorious eye is shooting lasers, it actually can be hit by a sword. So he got in with a few spins there, hitting the small ones.
That is crystal number 6 for Walther. I'm trying to keep an eye on what Tstew is finding. I mean, he just got his crystal in Hera and Paradox Cave, 5 chests here. He's definitely picked up some health along the way. And here's all the health has been hiding up here in Paradox Cave, and wow, 2.5 hearts in just in Paradox Cave alone. Alright, so Walther is double dead rock. That's horrible.
And the cabbage as well.
Walther's gonna die from the dead rocks. That's so sad. All right. So Paradox Cave would actually be a nice check because we know there's, you know, like a 30% health increase for him. But I hope he at least checks the Dark 6 chests. Yeah, no mirror there. He's not going to check the Light World ones. And at this point, who can imagine 2.5 hearts making that much of a difference?
Well, I cannot even imagine there's a seed where the Paradox Cave is left unchecked by a runner. This is the first time I've ever seen this.
And Arrows and Super Bunny, so no health there. Maybe I'll check the hookshot. Very fast four chests in hookshot cave. Meanwhile, Tstew going on to all the Zora domain area. Oh come on, Walther not even checking hookshot cave. I don't know if this is confidence or arrogance at this point, but if he pulls it off, then it's confidence. Well deserved. Silvers in Zora area.
That's a good find, but that's not what he needs right now.
And Blue Mail on the ledge. So Tstew is finding all of the safeties now. He's got almost double the hearts, and he's going to get Blue Mail, which doubles them yet again by reducing damage.
So this looks like gonna hinge on Walter's execution.
I want Zora to have the other mail. That'd be great. Nah, just a big 20. So Walther obviously significantly ahead on progression, but if his low health causes him to die 19 times climbing Ganon's tower, then the slow and steady will have won this race.
He's still going everywhere except Swamp.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Oh wow, just Walther barely missing that middle gap. There you go, off the side. Troll Dome gets 1 kill.
Good thing there's a lot of hearts here below the Chordom.
And bombs on the hobo. So Tstew is running out of places to go. Swamp, he's gonna have to head to Swamp pretty soon. Unfortunately, a lot of the other places, Mitz locks out Ice Palace, Misery Mire, Turtle Rock, a lot of the other places he can go. So it kind of forces him to go to where he has to go in the end. And it does look like he is headed down the Swamp. This will get him his powder, Mitz, and what was the other item in there?
Bucknet.
Yeah, like that.
So you have 5 seconds to guess where the Ganstar Vicky is. Good thing we're not on speed gaming.
Well, in speed gaming, we would have started this a few minutes ago. But yeah, it's whenever Harris locks a crystal, it's always fun to do. Like start, stop, and you know what? Even if this was speed gaming and we had the bot, I swear to you guys, there would be like 60 guesses in that 4-second gap. People sit there with their number typed in, their finger over the enter key, like just waiting for that bot to start.
Good point. Oh, Walter going left side first, going to know his fate.
Yeah, boots locked? No, not boots locked. getting a fairy check with a bottle. What do we get? A blue potion. That's nice.
Yeah, that's real nice. And we're seeing Dark Magician from Walter's side. He checked the Stealthos room, getting one heart container out of that, and he's got off to the right side.
Yeah, one heart container is actually significant.
Yeah, who would have thought the heart container in Gen's Tower is going to be this big? One more and he can take again a hug.
Yeah, that's so true. I'm gonna have to look at some of like the reverse boss order videos. I don't even know if in those you have, or the low percent videos, like how much health do you have in those? This has got to be pretty low when it comes to what you could possibly have.
I think heart containers are from bosses are required pickups in those. So might not be as low as you think.
Oh, there's a heart piece that gives him yet another heart. So he's filling out this first row. That's 9. He's going full right side.
Yeah,
Which is yeah, that's what you do in with the DM strat. Isn't that common a strat? I've even seen Dark Magician lately say, "I hate the Dark Magician strats." So they're kind of like a last year thing.
We got bombs of bumbles close enough. Nice bump jump across the gap. You usually bump those, but we don't have the boots we see.
So I haven't tracked every place he's gone, but this might actually be the last option for Tstew at this point. Because he's really tried to avoid Swamp Palace.
I think he has swamp and catfish left.
And I haven't seen a silverless ice armor in a while either. Nice fight, a little bit off, but not too bad. And that's the other green rupee, so we have now found both of the green rupees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the big key is on the left.
Yeah, I think he's like got 6 spots left and tile room. There we go. He's completed his first row of hearts.
Yep.
So Tstew, he's checking the compass room. He's picked up the key with the hook shot. If he goes left side, he's going to be very disappointed because we know that there are no items over there. Hopefully he's also going to make the back play first and find out that he's locked into Go Mode Swamp, and it doesn't look that way.
Mm-hmm. Block 20 is our big key.
Well, 10 hearts and ability to get 2 fairies, not actually that bad. They got early tempered swords, so they've had enough offensive power for this entire race.
Great mimic rooms did not get hit by the laser once.
So Walther down to 2 hearts here. Could use a heart to bomb jump that gap to get fairies.
We're onto the gauntlet.
And having the silvers there, nice easier Argus fight for Tstew. Picks up his mitts, and that is Go Mode for Tstew at 1 hour 17 minutes, which normally would be a very nice time for a Go Mode. It's just in this particular seed, it's not so much.
Well, they're picking on hard, got lasers right after that. Oh. He got a fairy.
And he's back to 1 fairy and 1 green potion. I think I would rather use the green potion and have a 2nd fairy.
So the upcoming rooms are pretty difficult with all the boots.
No Wizrobe slaughter. That's always a shame.
He got hit by the Wizrobe beam.
He's
It's down to 1 heart.
And he has to farm for the magic in this room. This is such a weird seed. I mean, it's been incredibly linear for the most part, but it's also, I mean, the route that Walther took anyway was super linear and really, really difficult to execute on. No! Oh, thank God. I didn't think you had enough magic for that other shot.
Yeah.
Like I think in that situation, you're down to checking what the stun prize is and hoping that it's a magic pot. But you don't have ether to check the ice one, so you're just the regular one.
Well, does have a green potion.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot the green.
Do you think he'll take a fall on this modern 2 to get an anti-berries downstairs?
No, he just got 2 fairies. He's at full health.
Well, he'll take a fall regardless.
So he lost 30% of his health on Waldrum too. That's not much. And the red meringue. What garbage.
You can tint the agony with rhythm with that.
I think what you want in that last chest is the sanctuary heart. Give yourself a little health and a refill.
Yeah, totally.
Not good positioning there from the Agas on the first try, but I think it was still a double.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is not getting good positioning. Nice, finish that off. Tstew got his big key from Misery Mire and heading down to Vitreous with a lot, with double the health and the blue mail and the silvers. Going to be a completely different fight than what Walther had to do.
Yep. Walther did that fight remarkably well with what he had, so he's not going to save a lot of time over Walther.
So, I think he's going to... Oh, great positioning up here. If he can get one swing off. Does he get it? Man, if he gotten him in the phase 2 there, that would have been perfect. Alright, so just use the cape, get your 12 slashes in, and you then use your green potion. That did not go very well. That was not a great phase 2, unfortunately. And, yeah, he's using the cape exploit to save the magic there into phase 3.
If you have a cape out and pull on the wall, it will not consume magic.
So that is the 7th crystal for Tstew, having done Tower of Hera already. So he'll be making his way up to Gan's Tower momentarily. With all the locations that Tstew checked that were extra, they are not that far different in the end. So this is a little bit aggressive from Walther. I mean, honestly, we'd expect anything else at this point. Using the lamp would let you basically get in like 100 of those torch lights, and you can consistently get in 2 shots per cycle. Fire Rod lets you potentially get triples if you time it well, but he's got no more magic, so does have to be careful there. Down to a single heart. Wow, really going to be close. This is tense. I think he's got a couple more slashes here. Ah, there we go. Wow, 1 heart left on Ganon. Don't walk off the ledge, Walther. Just walk across the bridge. Finish this up. Get your GGs in. That was a clutch fight there. 1 hour, 26 minutes, 8 seconds. Not a world record, but that might be a PB for him. We'll have to ask. Very nice race and progression into the 5-2 phase, which is brackets. So GG's for Walther.
Let's see if we can bring him for an interview.
Tstew entering into Gan's Tower much more equipped with all the health and everything else, so it should probably be another 10 minutes or so. Meanwhile, we are joined by Walther. GG's, congratulations onto bracket progression. A very nice execution.
Yeah, thank you. My heart was about to explode when I entered Ganon's Tower. My execution in Ganon's Tower was horrible. I was so nervous.
Yeah, you basically said, I'm going to do this with 7 hearts, and that's all I get, that's all I get.
Yeah, something like that. I tried opening a few chests on the way. That was easy to get by, but like hoping to maybe get a mail upgrade, or at the very least a heart or 2.
One of the mail upgrades was on Zora's Ledge. Paradox Cave had 2.5 hearts in it. But you went to the Dark World and you got arrow upgrades from Super Bunny.
Yeah. I thought those were the only chests I would actually pass by if I take that portal. So I didn't really have to go out of my way too much.
But you had a really efficient route. I mean, everything kind of lined up for you. Really nothing went wrong. You went into the swamp, a little bit earlier than you absolutely had to, but it had all the progression you needed, ended up being the right play. Did you feel ahead essentially that entire game?
Like, I felt that I should be ahead, but I was a little bit afraid of my opponent maybe doing the same thing. I did Aga before I had checked everything in the Light World, because the seed was kind of screaming to do Aga. So I felt pretty good about the Aga play even before I got into Pod, because I thought that like the chances of finding Dark World progression in Agnes Cave, Sick Kid, and then doing the sequence break with the fake flippers was not very large. So I felt good about that, and I was also thinking that maybe my opponent went up to like Death Mountain instead of going into Swamp, because we had like couldn't be much up in Death Mountain. Like no item required in Death Mountain except for the crystal at Hera, which is pretty insane when you think about it.
Yeah, it was a healthy Death Mountain, but no progression items. You guys were pretty much in sync through Aga. I think it was like within a second or two when you killed Aga. Going in the Pod was mostly in sync. Your routes diverged, but you ended up clearing Thieves Town and Skullwoods in about the same time. It really was the swamp play that was your next progression. and
Yeah.
it worked out really well for you. And then Meyer was go mode.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy as well, because there could have been two things that stopped go mode, both boots and medallion, but they all pretty much just aligned as it had to be.
That was a pretty scary Ganon fight, though. Your magic was looking kind of low there, and your health, wow.
Yeah, I did have a fairy and a green bottle as well, so. But the first phases of Ganon, like, I thought I did a 2-cycle on the first phase, so I just took my position up there, ready to do the spins, and apparently I didn't get all the hits in. And I thought I did the same thing on phase 2 as well. So I was starting to feel very nervous at that point that my opponent might catch up, because both my gauntlet and Ganon himself was not very good at all.
Yeah, those phase 1s and 2s, it looked like you were close on both of them, and missed the 1 cycles. When he went to the top right, I even said, I said, wow, he's got perfect positioning now for phase 2, but then he threw his trident. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I thought this was phase 2.
That's the best position you can get, because it's like a free phase 2.
Exactly. So moving into phase brackets, not phase 2, round 2, the brackets. That's got to feel great. Being a 4-2. I was saying in the beginning of the race that I think if you're 5-1 or 6-1 at this point, or just 0-6, you're comfortable. But 4-2, that's got to be the most stressful spot to be in.
Yeah, I went from 2-0 to 2-2, so every match since then has been like do or die situation. So it feels good that it actually went all the way. When I entered the tournament, my ambition was to, at the very least, do an honest try to get to the brackets, and it feels really good that I actually managed to do it.
You went 0-2 to 5-2?
Yeah, I went from 2-0 to 2-2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those early rounds were a little tough.
Tstew is climbing up against tower with 5 more heart. Is face tanking those fire bars. And he's closing how modern 2.
Did you lose your audio, Walther?
No.
I can hear you again. All right.
I can hear you.
So you have any final thoughts here? Then we'll wrap things up and finish up Tstew's fight.
Yeah, so I've said this every single after every single match, but massive thanks to all the commentators and trackers and the restreamers, and especially today, because I know that today was a very hectic day with a lot of races. But something that I always forgot to say every time in an interview is actually thank you to Shad and everyone who's watching, because without them this wouldn't be such a big tournament, and the community wouldn't be growing as fast as it is, and the community in itself is super positive. So let's just keep that positivity going.
Well, we have to thank you too. Without runners, we wouldn't even have a tournament. And look at that collection rate. Wow.
Yeah, wow, 124.
That is pretty low. I think this is a PB for me.
Oh, congratulations on that PB as well.
Yeah, thanks. I picked the right day to get it.
Tstew is finishing up his ag. You're welcome to hang out here and chime in with that when Tstew joins us for the interview as well, or you can go to Twitch chat if you like. It's up to you.
Yeah, sure. I'll stick around for a little while.
So in chat, 6 minutes of lag time, because every screen transition lags. We just don't notice them as much.
Tstew, very nice position here. Full health, 15 hearts, blue mail, half magic, and silvers. This is going to be a different Ganon fight than we saw from you, Walther.
Yeah, a little bit, it seems. Oh, where were the silvers?
Waterfall Fairy.
Ah, okay. If I hadn't got the hookshot, I was gonna go up to the bomb, the big bomb, and then do like the water checks together with the quick fish, but the hookshot kind of led me into the swamp instead.
Took 6 hearts of damage, but hey, he's got the health to spare, so that's no big deal. That would have killed Walther.
Yeah, I would have been dead 2 times over.
Yeah, I thought you were going to do Pyramid Fairy after Swamp, but then I didn't realize that you were just, basically go mode if Meyer was Ether until Blastic pointed it out.
Yeah, that was definitely what I thought about doing until I got the mids. I always get the mids in like Swamp and always get the bow in Tadrock.
So 2 singles and a double. Very nice phase 4. Absolutely no trouble there from Tstew. Only a 10-minute difference despite what I'm sure is going to be like 20 or so extra locations checked. Very, very nice. That gives him a time of 1 hour, 36 minutes, 59 seconds, just under an 11-minute difference. GG's to Tstew. And we will see if he is available to join us as well. So we've sent him the invitation. We'll see if he's interested in taking us up on the offer. Very nice time. He went up to Death Mountain and did a bunch of other overworld checks.
So since this seed is so fast, we didn't really have time to do this. So if you like what you are seeing here, don't forget to follow the runners. And if you want to see more randomizer, this is the ALTTP randomizer network from ALTTP randomizer to 4. And if you want more tournaments in general, there's also the Speed Gaming network that hosts every tournament, a lot of tournaments, including this randomizer tournament. That's Speed Gaming, Speed Gaming 6. Looks like Tstew is not joining for interview, so we're going to wrap things up here.
All right, well, then I will say GG's again to both of our runners, and there are, of course, links in chat to give them a follow. There's another race starting at 6 o'clock on Speed Gaming 5. That's Spooty Biscuit versus Machinex. I think it's like 6-1 maybe, or it's up there pretty high. There's also races at 7 o'clock on Speed Gaming 3. So plenty of random action. I want to make sure that everyone thanks our tracker Sinhei and our restreamer Naileen, which I gave him a little trouble early on, so I'm gonna have to apologize for that. But thank you to both the tracker and restreamer, Twitch chat for keeping us all honest, and my co-commentator Blastic. Thanks a lot for joining in the last minute. Much appreciated.
No problem, and thank you for commentating with me. So, see you next race.
All right, good night, everybody.